right now. There's like a light coming out of your house.
It would only be better if we were talking about like dinosaurs or origami. That's my two greater expertises. But yeah, this is just errors all over the place from Scoggins.
People were complaining too about the titanium fencing. So they're saying like pure titanium fencing, the tensile strength of the measurement of the force required to pull something such as rope. Oh, wait, here it is. Given its strength, titanium is remarkably light when compared to steel in a strength-to-weight ratio. Titanium is far superior as it is strong as steel, but 45% lighter. In fact, titanium has the highest strength-to-weight ratio of all known metals.
Okay, that's kind of true, but only in like solid bar form. When you start taking it down to like a wire mesh, it doesn't really make that much difference.
So do you think they ordered some super fancy wire that's yada yada in this?
If we're assuming that the film is correct, which that's what we're here to do, it's a masterpiece, nothing in here is wrong, then yes, it must be an extra super fancy grade of titanium that doesn't exist in our own universe, but in the world of Deep Blue Sea, it's up there. Because as we've established in previous chapters where Mika Hakkinen won on the wrong day of the year for when the film is set, Doug, you'll have to listen back and find out about it. Chapter 2. Then this is in a world that is not our own. And in this world, titanium is much more robust and stronger than steel.
Mm-hmm. Apparently there's some... I don't want to say this, guys, because I don't believe it, but I think it's a fact. Someone said that the above-water fences were shown to be chain-link variety, which is wire strands bent in a zigzag pattern and interlinked to form a diamond pattern.
Yes.
However, when it was revealed that the sharks were sinking the facility to escape through the weaker above-water fences, the fence that the shark was tearing apart had a square pattern, resembling the flexible titanium underwater fence, and the shark was pulling long, straight strands out of the fence. That worries me.
We'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, we saw the fencing this time, so I guess we're going to have to pay attention to it. But it looks like great fencing, guys. Whoever they bought their materials from, A+.
Yeah, it looks like a fence. Well done to them. Yeah.
What would you get? 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10, Doug. What would you give the fencing?
Well, yeah, clearly it doesn't do its job later on, so...
But does it look like it would?
Now, I gotta tell you, I was doing some research about mako sharks and actually sharks in general. And somebody complained about this film that why don't they just have the sharks in a lab or in a contained environment? And what I learned was that mako sharks, a few times they've tried to keep mako sharks in captivity, and one shark died in 3 days, and another shark died from like 24 hours. They don't really know how to get away from the walls. They get discombobulated. They get all like mako sharks, like great white sharks, can't exist in captivity. So with the Aquatica, I think they had to choose that facility to keep these mako sharks alive because they could not have lived in another setting for them to test on, which I found to be really cool. And also, mako sharks can jump 9 meters out of the air. I was watching videos of a mako shark jumping, and we're not talking full, like it doesn't go down 200 feet and fly up in the air to get higher. This was probably 10, 15 feet and exploding completely out of the water. So I think we should believe that they talk about the 2 sharks, the 2 Gen 1s and 1 Gen 2. I think the Gen 1 jumped out of it. I think Scoggs was telling the truth when he said that the fences were locked, even though he said he locks them every other night.
But yeah, if they can jump 9 meters and the fences are only 8 feet tall, then that's a huge difference.
So the shark just went, yeehaw!
9 meters is 27 feet. So
and it just flew, and these are faster, stronger, deeper, bluer sharks.
Yes, these are, the Daft Punk sharks, yeah.
So do you guys think Scoggs was telling the truth?
I think Scoggs is telling the truth, and they've just wildly underestimated the sharks they have in captivity, which they should not have done, but that is not on Scoggs. He is the facility engineer. This is Carter's fault. Carter's the shark wrangler here. He should know what these sharks are capable of. But I've just looked at a future chapter, and I can't see any square fencing. We'll keep an eye out for this in the future, but I think wherever you got that from, Mark, they may be mistaken.
Good, because this movie's perfect. Did you guys catch so there's a scene where Ada Turturro's character, she puts, Brenda Kearns, she puts on, I Can See Clearly Now, The Rain Is Gone.
Yes.
And obviously that's meant to be kind of a joke because the storm's coming in. However, if you think about the sharks, I can see clearly now, I can see all the obstacles in my way. So all these people are going away. They probably heard that the storm is coming in. They can hear everything. They know now is the time. All their obstacles are out of their way.
I feel like this song could have worked really well as an end credit song as well. It would mean losing the opus that is Deepest Bluest Matters Like a Shark's Fin, which we will get to, and is better than I Can See Clearly Now. It's better than all songs, let's be honest. But it could work then, because literally the storms have gone. I Can See Clearly Now, the rain has gone, so the rains of the storm, the metaphorical rain of the sharks, the just being a problem, that's gone. And the survivors can see clearly now. It also works as an allegory for Alzheimer's, which is the whole point of what they're trying to do here. They're trying to cure Alzheimer's. So if they were to succeed in the testing, then the patients would metaphorically be able to see clearly now, see past the fog of the affliction upon their brain.
And if these trials go soundly,
yeah,
then that'll also open up for that.
Exactly.
Jeez Louise.
Wow. One of the lyrics is, all of the bad feelings have disappeared. I can see clearly now the pain is gone. Like, what are we talking about here? Come on. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. This whole film was about trying to see the sky again. Soon. In a few chapters' time. I just want to get out.
Wow.
So it's a great song as well. The version that's here, it's the Johnny Nash version, it says on IMDb. So yeah, that originally came out in 1972, and it did quite well. But when it was redone by Jimmy Cliff, it was redone for Cool Runnings in 1993.
Of course.
Another great film, where it reached number 18.
Two of my favorite 90s movies had that. Oh my gosh.
What's the other one? Oh, this one, obviously. Toy.
Yeah.
What? The one we're talking about today? Okay.
Sanka. Are you dead? Love that movie. Oh my gosh. If you're not enough without it, you're not enough with it, guys. Just want to let you know.
That's one of my favorite John Candies.
That's right.
Yeah. So Michael Rappaport, let's talk a little bit about Michael Rappaport. Pre-Deep Blue Sea, I knew him mainly from his short run on Friends as Phoebe's boyfriend Gary, who was a police officer who they broke up when he shot a bird. Just woke up in the morning, there's a bird chirping outside, shoots the bird. As you do. Which is a perfectly reasonable thing to do. So yeah, but before 99, he had been in films of it which I've seen, Copland, he's great little on Copland, and True Romance. He's fantastic in True Romance.
Higher Learning, Mighty Aphrodite, Copland.
Yeah, I'm skipping the ones I haven't seen. So
it.
I've only seen Copland and True Romance. Listeners, I love films. I just haven't seen many. This is what the listeners are going to learn. I've seen Deep Blue Sea 173 times, but I've never seen Mighty Aphrodite.
Yeah, he was in some of my 90s favorites, man, like Beautiful Girls, True Romance. He had quite the career. He said he took this movie for money, and it wasn't about him. He just wanted some bucks to go hang out in Mexico and try to play golf and talk about music with LL Cool J.
Yeah, if you can be in a film with Sam Jackson, you be in a film with Sam Jackson.
That's right.
It's just what you do.
And also, Mark Wahlberg took The Happening so he could play a science teacher. So a lot of people make fun of that film, but I love that movie, by the way. We recorded an episode of Movies, Films, and Flicks. You should listen to it. We put some fun spins on it. But he took that to be a teacher. And Michael Rappaport, do you think he might have taken this because in this film he's an engineer? He's turning knobs, and Sam Jackson makes fun of him throughout. He's like, he had no idea what he was doing. But he's turning knobs, he's hitting on computers, he's staring at computer screens, he's talking about tensile strength. So this might be a different role for Mikey Rapp than what he was used to. He gets to just play an engineer, an against type engineer.
Well, is it against type? Because I feel like the roles he had pre this were all still kind of nerdy or like nebbishy characters. I mean, they're always he always plays like the annoying guy or the comic relief.
Yeah, he just wasn't an engineer. He was more of like a sidekick who wasn't doing much with his life.
How much of an engineer is he really doing? How much engineering is he really doing?
I mean, he remember when he's staring at the computer screens later on? He knows about the tensile strength. He knows about wave fluctuations. He's knowledgeable. I think he knows what's going. They trust him enough to deal with super sharks.
I don't think he's that knowledgeable because when again, the 8 feet give or take a centimeter, even if we ignore the combination of metric and imperial, waves move more than 2 centimeters. Just a wave bobbing up and down, even that far out at sea, it's gonna move more than a centimeter.
So you're saying Scoggins wasn't good at his job?
Yes, that's the way that the script is correct. He's just a character who's just... Well, no, I'm going back to he's flustered. He's in a situation, he's talking to this guy who he's just idolizes. He just loves Carter Blake so much. And it's flustered him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think, Doug?
Well, I think the only movie I had seen him in before that was Higher Learning, and in that he becomes a neo-Nazi skinhead who, I don't want to spoil that movie, but he does some pretty reprehensible things, especially towards the end of that film. So this was like, a much more lovable character than what I had seen him in before. So it was a total departure from something like that. So I think he wanted to be a bit more of a lovable character who, could maybe set him up for some roles in the future that were a bit more positive than kind of and I think he played a skinhead in Basketball Diaries as well. So he had almost started becoming typecast as sort of an antagonist role.
No, that's right. And I think you have a great point, because in Mighty Aphrodite, he also punched Mira Sorvino's character as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I know Jay hasn't seen these movies, but I guess from some of them, I think in Beautiful Girls, he was at a bar just as like a drunk guy who was always just complaining as like a snowplow driver. Well, that's a good gig. But no, I don't know. I think this is Mark Wahlberg happening, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Now, can I ask you one more question? So, Doug, you started this movie from the beginning, right? You kind of watched up to this part?
Yes, yeah.
So, in the beginning, when Carter Blake shoots the shark with the 2 tranquilizers and the boat never moves and the shark just stays in place, what did you kind of get out of that scene?
Yeah, it was, a good opening, I suppose. I guess they were kind of going for that shock value with that opening scene of like, we think something terrible is going to happen, and right at the last second, it gets saved and everything. But, it was an interesting way to start the film, I suppose.
Got it. So then when he was questioning him about it took 2 of, like, because he called him Deadeye and said he missed, and it took 2 of those tranks to knock the shark out. I'm telling you, my theory is that the shark pretended to be knocked out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because you can't just be knocked out immediately when the thing hits you, right?
No, I mean, it's got to pass through your system at some point. Like,
true.
If movies have ever told me anything, it's not like you get hit and fall immediately. There's at least a few seconds.
So he's calling Carter Blake out, but Blake did exactly like he should have. The shark is just huge and massive and messing with everybody, would you say?
Then again, there's the Lost World Jurassic Park, where Richard Schiff's talking about if you shoot yourself in the foot with the tranquilizer gun, you'd be dead before you'd even if your foot started to hurt. I forget the quote. So that's another Sam Jackson franchise.
And never break away to use the restroom either.
No, don't do that. But hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Poor Peter Stormare in that movie.
Both of the first 2 Jurassic Park films have somebody dying when they go to the toilet.
Wait, think about this. Alien Covenant.
Oh no, do I have to?
Alien Covenant, right? Jurassic World and Deep Blue Sea. You have people peeing in places where they shouldn't go. Like, I'm going to go over here away from everybody else to do this. And then they die. So you think about Jim Whitlock, one of the smartest men in the world. He's up on a massive balcony peeing in the wind, and then he dies in a brutal fashion. This is the thing that happens.
That's another metaphor. He's pissing into the wind. What is the wind? Wind is nature. He's pissing into nature.
Because he's God.
Because that's what he's doing. He's tinkering around with things he shouldn't be doing. He's pissing into the wind of a shark's brain. And that comes back to literally bite him in a future scene. So this is set up. This is kind of an Edgar Wright-esque call and response thing.
Wow. And it's because of the storm that's really windy that the helicopter has trouble picking him up. And the rain gets into the gears and drops him. This can all be traced back to him pissing in the wind.
Yep, he angered the gods. He angered Poseidon.
What's he doing up there? What's he doing up there, guys?
Yeah, why is he... What did he go there specifically to take a leak? Or was he out on patrol, just waving somebody off? And was like, oh, hang on, I gotta, hang on. I've been caught short. Yeah, the water's right there. I could turn around and not piss into the wind, but nah.
Maybe he was smoking a cigarette up there. Because remember he smokes later on and then gets his arm bit off. So he's smoking a cigarette up there and he's like, I could either walk all the way back inside or I could just pee out here.
That still seems pretty far to go to have a cigarette. Because bear in mind, he probably was down below. Like, but he's had to take the whole elevator up, which is a busy time to be doing that because of all the people leaving for the weekend.
Actually, this might, you know what, guys? This might, exactly what you said. The people were dancing because they were leaving. When you go that far away from everything to take a smoke break, it means you want to get away from people. Yeah. Because you're either an introvert or you just hate what's going on. So he goes all the way up there grumbling, doing some Swedish grumbling. And he goes up there just to get away from everybody because you want your distance from your coworkers.
Maybe he's supposed to be on that boat. Maybe this was like his weekend off, but because Russell Franklin's come in, they've got this tight deadline to pull off the test, and he's had his shore leave cancelled. He's like, he should be getting out this weekend, but he's got to stay back.
Wow.
We learn in a future chapter that he and Janice are in a relationship. It's detailed more in the deleted scenes. I reckon he was going to see his secret family, and he's had to cancel plans for the secret family. Stuck back with Janice.